So going into this video, I thought the iPhone 17 Pro camera was going to be significantly better than the S26 Ultra camera, and let me tell you something, I was very wrong. Let's talk about it. And big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. We'll talk about them a little bit later on. So if you're new here, this is an ongoing series on this channel where I take my 10 plus years of professional photography experience, apply it to the latest smartphones to help you understand what is going on with these new cameras. And today we are doing an overly technical analysis and comparison of the S26 Ultra to the iPhone 17 Pro. So in today's video, I'm going to show you a bunch of side-by-side examples to help illustrate things that I've seen individually testing the S26 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro. So if you enjoy the video, hit the thumbs up button. It's all I ask. It helps out the channel quite a bit. So the first thing we got to go over is what I call the basic user test of both of these cameras. Essentially, if you know nothing about photography, nothing about editing, nothing about apps, and you just grab the phone and make pictures, where are the advantages and disadvantages of each? Now, throughout this testing, we're going to be using 50 megapixels on each camera because it's a constant, it's not going to be confusing, and it's something that both cameras have. So for this first test, we're just using basic JPEGs with the 1X camera, and with this test I immediately noticed that the Samsung photos seem to have a little bit more saturation to them. I thought there was a little bit more brightness in the shadows as well on the S26 Ultra, and I did notice in previous testing with the S26 Ultra that the images felt a little bit sharper at this native camera versus the iPhone, and in this side-by-side example you can see the S26 has a slight edge in that detail. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, we're really splitting hairs. I think both images look good. Now when it comes to the telephoto lens on both of these cameras, a 5x on the Samsung and a 4x on the iPhone, I was impressed with initial testing on both cameras, and when I did some side-by-side testing, it pretty much stacked up exactly how I expected. The S26 had slightly more detail in these examples. I thought they looked a little bit better, and I also noticed that on the iPhone there was that slight smoothing effect that I had seen and talked about in previous videos. Once again, this is really splitting hairs. It's nothing major, but I would give a slight edge once again to the S26 Ultra. Now I did another test in low light in a studio, and in the tricky lighting situation, the iPhone seemed to struggle quite a bit with the color and white balance. As you can see, this example, the iPhone image is very blue, whereas the Samsung image was able to capture that white balance essentially perfectly. And when you zoom in on these images, you will once again see that the S26 Ultra has a slight increase in detail versus the iPhone 17 Pro. Now when it comes to the ultra wide lens, the iPhone has looked great for the last couple years, and I thought the S26 was a major improvement from the S25. Now when I compared them side by side, the S26 did have some increased saturation once again, and I also noticed that there was a little bit better control on the S26 over the highlights and shadows. I thought the image had an overall better look to the exposure. Each camera had a similar amount of distortion in the corners, which is to be expected with a wide angle lens, and I think the iPhone managed to keep a little bit more detail than the S26 Ultra when it came to the ultra wide lens. Overall, I just thought the iPhone image was a little bit sharper at ultra wide versus the S26 Ultra. Now obviously this is just one example, but based on other testing as well, I think I would give a very slight edge to the iPhone 17 Pro with ultra wide. Now one change to the S26 Ultra is the increase in aperture up to f1.4 versus 1.8 on the iPhone, meaning you could have more depth of field on your photo because wider apertures allow for a more blurry background. So I did want to test this very quickly, and I'm going to be honest, they look about the same. The sensors are so small that change in aperture might not make a huge jump in how blurry a background can be. Overall, you could make an argument that maybe the S26 Ultra has a little bit more blur to that background, but I did think the S26 was a little bit sharper on the shoe detail versus the iPhone, but overall there, not a major difference either. Now, that's not everything when it comes to these cameras. Personally, I believe the true way to test the potential of a smartphone camera is to capture raw files and see what the files look like as a DNG, because a DNG file allows you to really see what the sensor and cameras are truly capable of. Now, before I talk about that test, which was very interesting, I do want to thank today's sponsor, Squarespace. Now, over 10 years ago, when I started my creative career, the barrier to entry was massive, but now the barrier to entry is almost zero because all you need is the phone in your pocket to create high-level social media content, high-level video, and high-level photography. But something you need to take your business to the next level is a professional-looking website outside of social media, and no one makes this easier than than Squarespace. My website, evanramp.com, is built on Squarespace and allows me to do a number of different things. For starters, I can showcase my work with a portfolio. I have a contact me page so potential clients can get in touch with me. I can sell products like my physical products, my photo book, as well as digital products like my presets. I even have a free course built on Squarespace, and I do all my email marketing through Squarespace. And I know that sounds complicated, but Squarespace allows you to do this with no web design experience. They have award-winning drag and drop templates. They have something called Fluid Engine, which literally allows you to move things around on the page, and they have AI tools that help you build your websites with prompts, and you don't even need a third-party payment processor anymore. You can use Squarespace payments to process all your transactions. The ease of use on Squarespace is a no-brainer for creatives because it allows you to have a professional presence online without taking up so much of your time, so you can get back to actually making things, which is why we all got into this career in the first place. So go to squarespace.com/evanramp to start a free trial, and when you're ready to sign up, you use code evanramp to save 10% at checkout. That's squarespace.com/evanramp to start a free trial and use code evanramp to save 10% at checkout. Big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Now, when it comes to capturing raw files on both of these smartphones, what makes the Samsung interesting is there's technically two ways to capture raw files. You can capture Pro mode or Expert RAW. Now, the difference between these two modes is the fact that Expert RAW has a computational picture profile applied to the photo in post-processing. Essentially, it's the exact same as something like Apple Pro RAW. When that picture profile is applied to the raw file, you're getting the computational processing applied to that image to balance out the highlights and shadows. Now, the S26 Ultra also has Pro mode, which allows you to capture a DNG file that's basically the same as any other camera. There's very little processing going on, but these files can be tricky to use if you're not more advanced in photography because there can be a lot of grain, a lot of artifacting, and the highlights and shadows can get a little bit wonky if you don't know what you're looking for. But I included both of those examples compared to the iPhone just so you can see all the differences. Now, the first comparison I did was the telephoto lens. Now, in this telephoto example, you'll notice that the Pro image does look much flatter, which I already talked about. It's basically a true DNG file. There's no post-processing happening. But when it comes to Expert RAW versus Apple Pro RAW, you'll notice that the Expert RAW image does look a little bit cleaner on the detail side, but it's also a little bit darker in the shadows, and it does seem to be a little bit more smooth, a little bit more noise reduction, but I'm going to be honest, it seems like a lot less than I'm used to in the past. And also with the iPhone photo, we did have that issue with our white balance, and considering this was a tricky low light situation, I'm pretty impressed with the S26 Ultra's ability to handle it and also create this raw file that to me looks stellar. Now, with the ultra wide lens, we're following a similar pattern here. The S26 Ultra, when in Pro mode, has much flatter of an image. It's more of a basic raw file, which is to be expected, but the Expert RAW photo did have quite a bit more saturation, and I found the image just to be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing straight out of camera. I thought the S26 Ultra in Expert RAW did a better job of handling the highlights on the leaves in the bottom of the photo, and I was also very impressed with the S26 Ultra's ability to handle chromatic abrasion in the corners. This is something that you have to expect on smartphone photos, but with the S25 Ultra, I was very critical of the fact that the corners looked terrible in ultra wide DNGs, and on the S26 Ultra, they look much better. There's a lot less color artifacting, and this particular image, which I made in pre-production, I didn't even plan to put it in the video, really stands out because as you can see, there's less color fringing and less of that purple cast happening on the S26 Ultra versus the iPhone 17 Pro, which was not something I expected to see. Now, it's kind of funny, when capturing raw files with the 1X camera, I actually preferred the iPhone quite a bit. The iPhone images felt just right, whereas with the S26 Ultra in Pro mode, the images felt almost too flat. Sometimes I like that, but in this case, it just felt too dull. And when it comes to Expert RAW, I felt like these were a little bit too processed. The colors were a little bit too smooth, the saturation seemed a little bit off, and the white balance was a little bit to the purple side. So the iPhone, I felt like won this side-by-side comparison. Now, the thing is, all of these raw files can easily be manipulated using something like presets. I have 20 presets available that work with every smartphone out there, and the best part is they work with all the different picture profiles as well. So you can take one of these presets, apply it to any of your images, and you'll most likely balance out whatever issues are happening, as you can see in these examples. And the best part is these presets come with a 1-hour course breaking down how to use DNG and raw files on your phone, and more importantly, how to edit them in Lightroom Mobile. And I actually show you how to get the most out of these presets and break down a number of different examples. So you're not just taking shots at the dark, you'll actually know how to use this product. So that is the second link in the description down below. So overall, my final thoughts on this comparison, I have to acknowledge the fact that this comparison is still a small slice of the pie when it comes to all the different variables that happen with photography. There are a million different scenarios that you can put your phone in to compare them, but based on these tests that I did and my initial video on the S26 Ultra, I have to say the S26 is just slightly ahead of the iPhone 17 Pro in my personal opinion. I felt like the iPhone 17 Pro images were just slightly duller compared to the S26 photos. I thought the S26 had more saturation, a better job with exposure balance, and overall a slight bump in detail. Now, these benefits are very minor. I'm not going to sit here and say there's a huge difference, so I can't label one phone a winner and one a loser, but I do have to acknowledge that visually I preferred the S26 Ultra images in all of the testing that I've done. So let me know in the comments if you agree with me. Did you prefer these photos? I think if you did a side-by-side blind test, a lot of people would agree the Samsung images just look a little bit nicer. And like I said in my initial video about the S26 Ultra, it just feels like Samsung has really improved the processing of their images. I was impressed with the RAW files, especially expert RAW, which was something in the past I wasn't a big fan of, but with the S26, the images looked really good. I thought the post-processing and computational photography was stellar. So I'm going to hang on to this phone because we do have another iPhone coming out later this year. So stay tuned for that comparison in September or October, whenever that happens. For now, those are my thoughts. S26 Ultra, big improvement and maybe a slight edge over the iPhone. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're not yet, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.